Here's everything that you need to know to get started in karting. Let's dive right in. Now you've probably heard about karting or been even down to your local kart track. Indoor karting, outdoor karting in the UK is very popular. If you'd like to know anything more about that, costs involved, or what you might need, stay tuned for this video.
Alright, come on lads, jump in, jump in, jump in.
So the first thing almost everybody asks and never has at the beginning of the video is how much does karting roughly cost? A lot of people question whether they can even get started in karting. In the UK, it very varies. You can have your indoor rental karting track starting from £24 per session all the way up to your professional karting where it's like around 60 grand a year. The easiest and cheapest way is rental karting. Arrive and drive, so they provide the equipment and the kart even. Your average city or town, locally, usually you have a rental karting track within an hour of your location. Team Sport is one of the biggest providers in the UK for indoor rental karting. Team Sport also runs the BIKC and other championships, which is a very fun, enjoyable way for getting championship level karting but at cheap prices and easy to access. Rough cost involved varies. Prices have slowly gone up. Outdoor karting is more costly than indoor karting. I must say I prefer outdoor karting, but that's not always possible. Indoor karting rough prices, their usual 45-minute session or 30-minute session varies around £45, but this can be significantly reduced if you have a membership. I got a membership and in a local Team Sport karting place it is £24 for 45 minutes. That is the cheapest karting that I think you can find in the UK. It's exceptional value for money. On the other side of things, my outdoor karting track, it is £47 for 30 minutes. I'd have to double check that. So, what's the equipment you might need? For rental karting tracks, you don't really need anything if you want to just rock up and drive. They provide you a helmet, they provide you your suit, and gloves and everything else you might need. If you want to take karting a bit more professionally, I highly suggest you buy yourself some safety equipment, because who likes wearing their stinky old suits or helmets? Cheapest first equipment is a suit, I'd definitely say, because they don't have to be regulated for indoor karting or rental karting. They don't have to have any safety standard, unlike outdoor professional racing at higher standards, you have all certified. So you can pick up a lovely suit for anywhere around £50, say. Prices can vary. You can of course go all the way up to £200, but the cheapest one on Amazon even was £23, but I'd advise going for around a £60 suit. I even got this one tailor-made for me on eBay. That cost me around £67, I think. Now, helmet, I don't know about this, what specifications they have to be certified in for. So double check the most costly part. So if you want, you can keep on using that helmet. Otherwise, a lovely helmet will be costing you around the £270 mark, I would estimate. You can of course get lovely karting helmets up to £600. A nice simple helmet will do, and no, you do not need a fully blacked out carbon fibre helmet just to look cool at the racing track. Of course, in that helmet I like wearing a balaclava and some good gloves. I find gloves in karting, they're very handy. You can use your normal gloves, but it's always nice to look a bit professional and get yourself a set of OMP gloves. Then the next thing is you can usually go in your normal shoes, but shoes are also a very handy thing. Price wise, I think around £30 or something like that. These are some knockoff ones, some OTF instead of OMP. You pay up to £70 for these, but I'll just go for the cheapest. Action cameras are not necessary, but I just have one, and it's also handy to look back and review content and go, oh, there I was going too wide, or that guy cut me back. This is a 360 camera, so you can even see what that guy was doing ramming into you. To hope the echo on the camera isn't too bad, because I don't have an extra mic. Almost all rental karting track that I know of, you can have memberships, they're very worth it. Team Sport I think does, you buy a membership for £20–25, and you even get a free kart session on your birthday, so you're basically just getting a free membership, or however you'd like to say it. On top of it, they do loyalty or bonus points. The more you go karting, the more bonus points you add up. I've had a few free karting sessions because you get something like 200 bonus points, and after 700 or something like that you get a free karting session, which is very nice. So if you actually calculate the price per karting, if it is something like £24, but then every 7 session you you get one free, it's almost around £20, 45 minutes. So that's down to almost around 50p per minute, which is the cheapest karting I think you can ever get. I'd expect to spend for rental karting a year around £1,200, I'd estimate. That gives you enough time to make it down to the track quite a lot, and also enter into different races. Team Sport also does like grid events. I entered into the local grid championship, so stay tuned on this channel. I will hopefully be doing grid championships. The first one starts in a few days time, so we'll see how we get on with that. I'll be filming with Mr. 360. Team Sport, I also noticed, have a mobile app where you can see the live lap times. I think we might even be able to see one's live lap times of themselves from their own car. I don't know, please let me know down in the comments if you know if one's allowed to have it on their car. I don't know if you're allowed to have it mounted like on your arm so you can see your lap times, or if you're allowed to mount them to the car. I'm definitely going to look into that because it'd be lovely to know what my lap times are to see where I'm improving. I do know that they do not allow external lap timers, but I think you might be able to use their tracking, which I'm definitely going to look into, because it'd be good to know where one's improving, where one's not improving, and one's standings. Almost all indoor karting tracks have recently changed from petrol to electric. I did prefer the petrol, but the electrics do have more power and more bottom end torque, and of course they aren't so noisy and smelly, which makes it so much easier for them to do. In my local karting track though, they did disable the reverse and the boost. I would have liked the reverse, because if anybody crashes you out, they have to stop the whole race or whatever, yellow flags to get the person out. It would be handy if they could just install that reverse button and switch, you can just go backwards. The boost, I don't know, a bit of a joke, but maybe it could be fun. Mainly all the outdoor tracks are still petrol. I love them, they're very cool. It feels closer to actual professional racing, because you've got the outside elements, whether it's a wet corner, dry corner, and so on. But it's not always possible, and that costs quite a bit. My local outdoor karting place does not do championships, or they did, but it's for the under 12 or under 16s or something, so I can't enter into any of that. But the indoor karting tracks, also Team Sport runs VRKC, which is if you're good enough you can enter, and then it's locals, regionals, nationals, or whatever. I have never managed to get there. I've only just started in karting, but it'd be my dream to make it there one day. Of course, you have all your equipment. The equipment costs roughly have been broken down, so you'll be spending around £400 or £500 depending what you go for. That's the same for indoor and outdoor rental karting roughly. Apart from an outdoor rental karting, you might want to get yourself a waterproof suit. They're an extra around £35. I got this one on eBay. It is a motorbike waterproof overall suit to go over all of your suit. You can get the clear ones, but they're outrageous. They're like, I don't know, £100 or something. So I just went for an orange and black one to match my racing suit. So that's very handy. Of course, under all of this, some people like to wear extra clothes, breathable underwear. I just go in my normal clothes. Yeah, you just get a large enough suit that it all full fits over. So that's actually rental karting for you, and there are of course involved. They're just vague from what I actually know. If you have any other questions or knowledge you'd like to share, drop them in the comments down below. I also know that down in England you can run 24-hour races in rental karting. I think it was around £3,000 for one team, but you divide that by around 5 people in a team or something. It's not that much, and a very cool experience to have. So that's the next level for rental karting. I do know also they have your 2-stroke D-Max or something rental karts down south. So there's a more powerful, and also in Larkpool, I think they have them or somewhere. Anyways, I'm used to only your normal Honda GX270 or your electric indoor rental kart. For entry-level club owner karting, your cart you'll be looking for around £1,300 for either your like pro cart or your two-stroke cart. It'll be the oldest thing, but it's something that'll be actually usable. You need the same kit, but if you want to do racing, you'll need certified race suit, which I think costs around £200. Then you need a certified helmet. This one already is, but a certified helmet around £400. Then of course you need your shoes, your balaclava, and your gloves. They're not mandatory, nor have to be certified, but one always goes for that. Then you need, of course, transport. You need something to transport the car. I'd say for around a year you use £500 of extra chains, lubricants, oils, I don't know, extra sprockets, the hub broke, I don't know, all those little extras. And you'll have all of your entry costs. I think it's around, a membership's around £170 a year at the usual kart track, and you have entering the races, I think it's around £40 to £60 per race. I'd say average cheapest owner drive year would cost you around £5,000, just as a very vague figure. That of course is almost 5 times or 4 times the amount that indoor karting costs. I've had a go on those karts. They're at like 60 mile per hour speed demons. They're a lot different car, and the chassis flexes because it's so much lighter. You're always going to be lifting that rear wheel. In rental karting you don't really feel that because they're like built like tanks with huge rubber bumpers everywhere. That's the rough cost. I don't know, you might almost even get more track time in rental karting, because when you're driving karting it's a whole procedure, rocking up on the Friday for practicing, or practicing Saturday and racing Sunday, yada yada yada. And then you need food, accommodation, depending how far away you live from the track, and all the fuel. So that's a rough cost for it. Of course, I'm not going to go further in high level karting because this is starting off in karting. I'd advise always start off in rental karting, of course, and then move on. The higher levels of karting go up to, you know, whatever, 60 grand. But as do everything in Formula 1, you can spend millions and billions. Now, don't get me wrong, these are just rough estimated costs for karting from what I've experienced so far. As an old, karting is a very fun activity or sport to make some new friends or just have some fun with your existing friends. Whether it's just a weekend activity or becoming of a Formula 1 career, it's a great thing to get started in. So why don't you go down to your local karting track and give it a go. Smash the subscribe button whilst you're at it, and I'll see you next one.
Lovely, yeah, jump in. Perfect. Alright, come on lads, jump in, jump in, jump in. You good at it? Questa è questa una red button.